The condition of the engine mechanical system can dramatically impact engine performance. The two components that can affect drivability are the pistons and the valve train. Engine pistons work in a severe environment that subjects the pistons to high temperature and high pressure. The job of the piston is to seal the combustion chamber and to transfer the force of compression to the crankshaft and rotating assemblies. The piston rings ride on a thin film of oil and seal the combustion chamber. Over time, the sealing rings can wear, causing a loss of compression. A loss of compression in one cylinder will result in an uneven power output and a rough engine idle. The condition of the piston rings can be tested with an engine compression test. To test engine compression on a fuel-injected vehicle, remove all of the spark plugs. Inspect the spark plugs for signs of unusual deposits, glazing, or fuel or oil fouling. Inspecting the spark plugs is a good first indicator of internal engine conditions. Then remove the fuel pump fuse. And if the engine has a distributor, remove the primary wire to the ignition coil. Install the compression gauge in one cylinder and block open the throttle plates. Crank the engine over using a remote starter and watch the compression climb. Crank the engine over at least 4 compression strokes. Record the reading for each cylinder. A cylinder that has a low reading on the first compression stroke but steadily increases to normal as the engine is cranked most likely has worn compression rings or light scoring on the cylinder wall. The first compression stroke reading should be at least 50% of the last reading. If the compression is low on the first stroke and remains low, there is probably a problem with the valve sealing. The compression for all cylinders should be within the specified range with no more than a 15% difference between cylinders. If one cylinder is low compared to the others, leaking valves, worn piston rings, or broken valve springs are suspect. When two cylinders that are next to each other have low compression, but other cylinders are normal, a blown cylinder head gasket or a distorted cylinder head is indicated. If the readings of all cylinders are low but fairly equal, incorrect valve timing or worn compression rings or cylinder walls are indicated. If a cylinder reading is below specifications and you suspect ring wear, you can do a wet compression test. Use a vacuum hose as an extender to squirt a small amount of oil into the affected cylinder. Then install the compression tester and repeat the test. If the compression reading jumps into the acceptable range, you have confirmed a problem with ring or cylinder wear. If the compression remains low, there is probably a problem with the valves not sealing. If the reading doesn't improve, look for a valve or valve spring problem.